This guy writes, women, would you date someone who wanted to be a stay-at-home dad? First of all, this question is hypothetical. I don't necessarily know for sure I want to. A little bit uncertainty right now. So it's like you're wanting to be a stay-at-home dad. You're in your uncertainty. You're not making decisions. But it had crossed my mind. So I'm curious if it would make dating harder than it already is. You've had previous failed relationships in dating. If I took this path. Okay, so what I'm kind of accumulating here is that he's probably acting more in a feminine way. And I'm not saying that that is like set in stone bad way to show up in dating. Although the set in stone part, it's like if you adopt that masculine essence, that's going to be 95% get you better results. But there is that other 5, and that's kind of what I'm referring to by saying that. Because it's like ultimately you have to pick somebody. If you're not going to change, and if you feel comfortable, if you're a man and you feel comfortable in your femininity, and that's just basically how you feel natural, what you need to find is some woman who is super comfortable in her masculinity, and that's really her core essence, and she's not putting this mask on, this fake thing. It's like sometimes that actually does happen. And so you really need to partner up with somebody that has those still basically the opposite polarity. That's where you get like the opposites attract. It doesn't matter if it's gay, straight, whatever kind of relationship, there has to be one that's in their masculine and another in their feminine. Or you have a balanced person that's basically like halfway in their masculine, halfway in their feminine, and then you get another balanced person that's halfway and halfway. It's really about basically just putting those pieces together in order to create that attraction. That being said, just because of, well, whatever it is, like hormones with men and women, just like differences with that, it's like usually it's like men still will have that undertone of the masculinity and women will still have that undertone of the femininity. And so people who are trying to basically switch the roles where the man's trying to be in his feminine and she's in her masculine, even if they feel comfortable in that, they're still going to create some kind of problems. And the people that can succeed with that approach and basically that quote unquote reverse roles are people that already understand relationships or have an excellent understanding of communication, how the other person operates, and they've really worked on themselves. And so I'm not saying it's impossible, but usually it's so much easier if you do have, or you're able to really adopt that masculine essence and be consistent and make that into really who you are. If you are a man approaching dating. So I'm not going to say that stay at home dad, like if that's your mission, great, dude. But it's like, you're probably just going to have to find, if you want to take this approach and keep continuing and not changing anything about your life and being indecisive, you're probably going to have to find somebody in their masculine, this woman that's in her masculine. And then you're having to be okay with that, which is sometimes very difficult to do. Because it's like you still naturally have those responses that a masculine man would. And so in that regard, I mean, it's just like I'm going on with this, but it gets really, really complicated if you don't just kind of align with those polarities. So your options are to really adopt the masculine mindset, get a mission, be able to walk away with it, walk away and mean it from really any situation, not being attached to results. That'll just give you that strength. Or you basically stay how you are, but just do a shit ton of work on yourself and your understanding of relationships and communication. And you really find joy in what you're doing, saying like being a stay-at-home dad. Up to you. I'm saying that it's probably going to be much harder if you're trying to find a woman that's in her masculine and you're trying to be in this feminine role. But those are really your options. And again, there's really no way around just understanding relationships, communication. And this one's controversial. I recognize that totally. I expect People are going to say, well, just because somebody is a stay-at-home dad doesn't make them feminine. Yeah, but it is just one thing that really supports that quality, especially combined with him not succeeding in relationships prior to that, which kind of suggests it. And then also him being really indecisive. Masculinity just more certain, knows what it wants, mission driven. So that's what I would say. It's kind of your situation. That's really some of the options that I see that you could take.